If you have questions while I go through some of the stuff, feel free to just shout it out or put it in the chat button. We're, again, very informal here today. So Ripon, one of the things you want to know about Ripon is the uniqueness of our our curriculum that we go through for the 4 years you're at Ripon. Many schools that you may look at in the course of your college search will talk about general education requirements. We refer to that basically as something that you would have to complete for the school as part of your degree. I refer to it sort of as continuing high school because you have some courses that a school will ask you to complete in your 4 years of college, things like history requirements or math requirements or science or arts or whatever it might be. And that can sometimes take up a lot of your time at school and maybe will permit you from taking classes that you want to take when you first begin college. So Catalyst is built different. And with Catalyst, we have a very unique sense of what you have to do to get a degree at Ripon without doing those general education requirements. So we call our requirements the Catalyst. The Catalyst is going to contain 5 particular classes that you'll take at Ripon. What you'll do is you'll take them one at a time. So in your first year at Ripon, 2 semesters, you'll have one your first semester, one your second semester, the second year, 1 and 1 again. In junior year, you'll have 1 class. It'll be a seminar to finish out that Catalyst piece. So it's very simple to do. Every student completes this. You can't forget it. You can't miss it. You know, that kind of a thing. Nothing replaces the Catalyst requirements. And I'm going to go through a little bit of those classes so you understand what they are and why we do that. But this pie chart will show you basically what it would take at Ripon in 4 years. You're going to have that Catalyst piece, which is the red section there. 20 credits is what makes up that part of the pie. The other pieces of the pie, you'll see a major, and you'll see major 1 and minor A and B. So everybody at Ripon has to complete the Catalyst. They have to complete 1 major at least, and then they complete 124 credits altogether. So in this pie chart, it's kind of showing you the 124 credits. In many cases, a student can do 2 majors and 2 minors along with their Catalyst in those 4 years, okay? So when you look at a major at Ripon, and I'm going to show you an example a little bit later here too, but a major typically consists of about 40 credits on average. So part of that gray area will be your first major, right? Now you're up to 60 credits. If you add that second major, let's say it's 40 more credits. So that's going to be up to, we're at 20 and 40, another 40 is 100 credits, if I'm not doing my math right. Yes. And then you have 24 credits left, which in a lot of ways you could do a minor, if not 2. A minor is typically maybe 18 to 20 credits. So if things laid out the right way, you could honestly finish 2 majors and 2 minors. Now, this is not like the typical student doesn't do that. The typical student probably does a major and a minor at least because of the time. What we want to show you is that the right side of this pie chart is what you have to do, your major and your Catalyst. The other half, we put them as free credits. So you literally can take any class you want to fulfill up to 124. So you major in biology and you do the Catalyst and you take classes maybe all over campus. Maybe you take art, you take some communication, some political science, some history, some math, communication course, what a psychology course. It can be anything on campus. And that's what those free credits are. All you need to do is to get to 124. That's the magic number. So as long as you've got the Catalyst and at least a major, 124 credits, that's all it is. Okay. So it's very simple when you compare it to other schools. We have this unique way of approaching your education here. As we go through, I'll show you now the types of things that are going to be dealt with in those courses, right? So there's 5 core courses I mentioned, 1 per semester. You're going to start off at the top of this pyramid with Catalyst 110 and Catalyst 120. Those are the first 2 classes you'll take. You'll take them either the fall or the spring. They can be reversed, but you'll have those 2 classes done after your first year. The Catalyst 110 is a writing focused class. So as you can see, you're going to look at critical thinking, writing, collaboration, information literacy. Those are the key components that we're going to work on during that first class that you're going to learn and you're going to do better. So we want you to leave school with the knowledge and the ability to do writing, right? We want you to learn to communicate and be a good writer. And those are things, when we developed this back in 2016, we found that employers were bringing in college graduates who didn't necessarily have the skills that they felt a college grad should have. So we revamped our entire system to create these classes that then are going to teach the skills that employers want. So the second piece, the quantitative reasoning, you're going to learn how to be a critical thinker. You're going to look at numbers. You're going to look at facts. You're going to look at oral communication as well. But those pieces are all part of the Catalyst 120. Deductive thinking, scientific methods, that's that course. It has a little bit of that numbers part, so it maybe could qualify in a sense as your math component. If you're not a math student, this is really what you're going to do in college at Ripon, is just that one class. You're going to do a little bit of numbers and stats and things like that, but that's the major part of what math is required, unless of course you're majoring in something that's more in those numbers. But these classes are where you're going to look at different facts and figures and use research to come to conclusions and learn how to use that research. The Catalyst 210 and 220 are the classes you would have your sophomore year. Again, it's going to be reversed. You can have the 210 first and the 220 second and vice versa, but you will have them done when you finish your second year at Ripon. Again, the skills you can see in here: critical thinking, writing, collaboration, intercultural competence. So you're going to be identifying and challenging cultural assumptions, looking at the differences between cultures, how inequality, power, oppression, all those things impact culture. That's what the basics of that particular class is. The Catalyst 220, integration. You're going to, again, use the skills you've already learned and then some, look at evidence and facts and methods to diagnose problems and explore issues from different perspectives. So those are the things that we're teaching you in those courses. The last piece is the Catalyst 300, and that's going to be a seminar. And I'll talk about that further down a little bit too, but you're going to take one seminar, you're going to be paired with a number of other students from different disciplines as you. You're going to work together for the semester to develop a solution to a problem. And I'll get into that in just a second as well. Again, this is the skills just kind of laid out for you to see the different things, and you'll see repetitive things there, right? So writing is going to be a focus in every part of these classes. Information literacy is in every single class. But when you get to intercultural competence, that's really focused in 210, using that skill in the 300. So every class is going to have those specific skills that you're going to learn as you go through them. Again, if you have questions as I go through this, please do feel free to use the chat or unmute yourself. That is perfectly fine as well. So the course examples, this is where it kind of gets fun. I think that when you look at colleges and the requirements that a class or a college makes for you, you may have to take a history class or a biology class or whatever sort of particular thing that they want you to take. And it may not have a lot of options for you to do things you want. So with these courses, every course, when you come to Ripon, you're going to see a handful of courses offered, and you're going to get a chance to kind of hand pick what you think sounds interesting to you. So these are real titles of classes that we've held. Again, this is only since 2016. We've developed this curriculum, but these are some of the classes we've had. So you see on there, Beyonce, Black Feminism, and Pop Culture. That's a literal class that we have on campus that falls into the writing focus class. So what are you going to write about that semester? A pop culture. There's the global economy by the numbers. You'll see the air in Beijing, the water in Flint, and the temperature in Ripon. So there's different kinds of things, prisons and punishment and history. There's different categories that will come up that you will use. You'll choose those classes, and that'll be your topic that you're going to write on. So it's not necessarily an English class. These are taught by different professors. Truth or Lies is one that I believe Professor Kahn teaches, and they look at facts. They talk about the freshman facts when you go to college. Is it true that there's freshman 15 and you're going to gain 15 pounds? Is this true? Is this not true? And they look at that as part of that seminar. And those are, again, that's 110 and 120. I should clarify that. So some of those courses will have some number pieces, and they're going to be in the 120 section. Okay. So every semester, when you come in to choose your classes for these particular catalysts, they will have options. You'll kind of let us know your favorites, and then the registrar will place you in one of those courses and meet that requirement. Each class is going to have 20 or so kids in them. So for instance, in fall of 2021 coming up that we're recruiting for right now, all the students who are recruited and enroll, we have to split them up into the number of 110, the number of 120 classes we have. Okay. So again, if you get 120 the first semester, you'll have 110 the second. Then you go into the bottom half of the slide, the Catalyst 210, the Catalyst 220. Again, some samples of classes that we have taught. Understanding Hispanic cultures, you'll see on there. Perspectives in world cinema. Bring out your dad, infectious diseases through history. So there's some really interesting topics that you'll see that you get a chance to take those courses. And it's not your humdrum necessarily, same old history class or same old English class, okay? And again, excuse me, you're going to learn some skills in those things to critically think and use deductive thinking and things like that. When we get to, go to the next part. So the seminar, and I'll show a different slide here in a little bit, but the Applied Innovation Seminar is going to be that junior year. Everybody will take it either the first or second semester. And here are some examples of what those seminar the topics could be. How will we survive a zombie apocalypse? What's the proper role of arts in contemporary society? Is free internet sustainable? These are just some examples of what we've done and what we could do for students when you're in that particular seminar. Other things you might look at, we work with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so you might see a section on women and children's health, environmental justice, violence, pollution. Those are real world problems that the groups that do these seminars will break down into how can we make this particular town or this particular county better by doing the things that we want to do that we've learned. So for instance, students maybe looked at a Green Lake. How can we make Green Lake less polluted? Or how can we work to improve gun violence in a particular town wherever, in the state, in the country. And so they narrow them down to find solutions to what they could do to present that and have that solution, that problem fixed. So it's all something you do in the whole semester. You're going to have people from different areas as you. So if you end up being a psychology major, you're not going to have someone else from psychology working with you that semester. You'll have someone maybe from history, from art, from exercise science working with you, and all of you use your different thoughts and skills to think of the problem and put that presentation together. And so we then have as a Catalyst day, normally the end of the semester. And so all the juniors who are in the Catalyst seminar will work to present this particular solution publicly. So we would normally have a Catalyst day, and each group would go up and they would share their presentation, the group working together. Through the semester, you'll have faculty buy-in and helping you with those things. But in the end, you'll present this publicly, and then you would receive your grade, complete the seminar, complete the Catalyst section. So again, it's very different from what a particular school might have you do as part of your college education. So this is, again, when we developed this back in 2016, we looked at what employers were looking at was most important. So oral communication, critical thinking, applying knowledge to real world. Those are the things that they found were the most important things. So that's where the Catalyst came in and why we have developed this. And again, we're reaching all these different skills in those courses. And that's really where it came from and why we're still doing it. So that's a real quick stop there. I want to stop my share. And I'm going to go back and make sure I've got everybody that I needed to mark down. Great. Okay. I want to show you another piece that on our website. And let me just get to that. So I'll share my screen. Okay, so this is on our website, and as I mentioned, the different kinds of things that are in Catalyst Day. So as I was reading those things off, this is what I'm referring to, that every student is going to be tasked with a solution to a prominent issue in the world. And again, these are some of those things that they will take them from. I mentioned the health, the violence, pollution, etc. So you're going to, as a group, pick an area, and you're going to work to solve that problem that you work together with your team on. The other thing then, I was going to also bring up a couple more samples of classes. So this is also on our website. And again, for sample Catalyst courses, again, this is on our website. But in here, as I mentioned, the Beyonce, Black culture, there is prisons and punishment, going native in the Americas, women of note. So you're going to look at women musicians and write about that semester. So as you can see on here, I'm just kind of scrolling through, but they all show you the different kinds of 110 classes that have been taught at Ripon. When you enter Ripon, there may be new classes that are added in. So every year the faculty will develop maybe a different class, a different topic that they would like to discuss. So again, you can find this on our website. That's just a list of all of our various classes that we offer in the particular Catalyst area. So we have some minutes here before our tour starts. That was a real kind of quick overview of the Catalyst. Also, I should mention that as a freshman and sophomore at Ripon, you get the benefit of being able to see a presentation. So when you're a student, if we have a Catalyst Day, all those underclassmen, sophomores and freshmen, are going to be asked to attend those presentations. So you get to kind of see, the juniors see it before you're actually going to have to do that. So someone has asked, Meredith is asking if you just are placed in a class or you get to pick a topic. And it's a great question. So as I mentioned, you would start the semester when you are going to pick your classes. Your faculty advisor will show you what's available for that particular semester. And so in the fall, there will probably be 5 classes that are in the 110 and 5 in the 120. And you're going to just let them know, here's my favorites. And then the registrar will place you in a class. So, and Sophie and Olivia are on our call now. They're going to do the tour with you shortly, but you can ask them how their classes went and if they've been able to get their top choice. We do the best we can to get you in something that's interesting to you. So, and we want to have you have that well-rounded education. So for instance, there may be a class that's taught in biology or by a biology professor. If you're a biology major, you're probably not going to get that class because you're going to have enough biology and enough professors in biology to not have to do that too, right? So you would maybe get the psychology course or communication course or whatnot. They want you to have led a chance to be able to have different classes with different professors. And again, round out your overall career at Ripon. So yes and no, you do get some choice in those classes. You may not always get your first choice, but you do get to see what's available. And I think, again, Sophie and Olivia could maybe answer to that as well, their experiences, because they are both juniors. Olivia and Sophie, if you want to turn your videos on, you are welcome to do that if you're still with me. Looks like Olivia's on, and I can, let's see once. There she comes. Hi, Olivia. Sophie was here. If she's coming back, I'm sure she is, but we'll let her in and she can have her video too. Olivia, real quick, would you maybe share your experience with Catalyst as they were asking about if you get your first choice or get the topic that you want?
Yeah, so I actually finished Catalyst last semester, so I did my seminar last semester. But during my first 2 years, I did not get all of my first choices, but I definitely got into a course that I put down on my list. So definitely, if you are interested in multiple, put down multiple. Plus, there's always an option too that you can try out a Catalyst, and if it's just not working, there is a possibility that you could switch into another one, but usually they like to keep you in there to keep it pretty split evenly throughout all courses. But no matter what Catalyst you're in, you're gonna have fun and you're gonna enjoy it. I am a huge science person, so what I did in Catalyst is I took courses that were taught by professors that were outside of the science departments. So I went down into the music department and the theater department, and I kind of branched out that way to experience the other departments, and that was super interesting for me. And it's something that I highly recommend to you guys too.
Mhm. Great. Yeah, it's a chance to get a peek at different disciplines. And while I have a minute, I want to share one more thing with you. Um, Maybe Olivia will let me know if you can see that, the biology sheet. Perfect. So for those students, if you're listening and watching, this is just a sample. This is biology. I just rammed one at random. All of our academics are online, and all of our academic majors have a sheet like this. So I'm going to go to the front of it. This is biology, kind of gives you an overview and some program highlights. Again, they're all online. What I want to point out is this 8-semester schedule. This is a sample. So as you're looking at this, I mentioned the catalyst. You'll see the blue are those catalyst courses. So just like I mentioned, you'll one each semester for the first 2 years, and you'll take your third one in your junior year, again, either first or second semester. You'll see then for biology, the red boxes are those classes that are required for a biology major. And there are a couple of things I want to point out. Obviously, you can see how you can finish that in 4 years, but your first semester on campus, you can take some biology. We find that's a really important piece of your education when you can jump into something that you've interest in. The other piece is the ones that say your choice. And those are those classes, if you go back to the pie chart that I showed you, that's where that extra pie chart piece is, right? You can choose whatever classes you want. Do you want to take a theater class or an exercise science class or an art, a history, whatever you are interested in would fit into those pieces there and could simply be classes toward the 124. Anything you take on campus is going to count toward the 124. You're never going to take something and think, oh, that didn't even count toward my graduation. If you're a student who's not sure what they want to study, if you look at this example again, your first semester, you will typically take 4 classes a semester. In the first semester, you're going to have that catalyst, but you're going to have 3 choice classes that you can take, and they can be in anything. So let's say I don't know what I want to do, but I really do like history, and I really do like art, and I like psychology. You could take a class in each of those areas right from the start, your first semester on campus, which is, again, pretty unique. If you search other schools and look around, I know back in the day when I went to school, I was taking things that they wanted me to take and didn't have a lot of options to take things that I thought were interesting. So this allows you to do that. So I'll turn that share back off. Again, you can find those sheets on our website and see those. So other questions that you might have. And Sophie, if you're on, you can feel free to put your video on. So what we're going to do here in just a minute, and I'm hoping that students, you'll stay on. Sophie and Olivia will take you through a tour just online. I would think maybe Olivia, 40 minutes maybe to go walk through that. You can definitely stay as long as you like, but we want to kind of give you a chance to look at some things about Ripon and see things the best we can right now.